Hello everyone, this is Gerald with G5 Productions, and today I want to talk a little bit about the Chauvet EVE E-100Z ellipsoidal light. Okay, so right off the rip, this light fixture is LED and it's 100 watts. I purchased this light because basically I always look for multifunctional purposes when I buy light fixtures. I mean, there's uplighting, there's Gobo projectors, there is stage lighting, there's effects lighting, there's all sorts of light fixtures out there. But when I make my purchases, I always think about how can I use this in multiple ways. So my main thing with this light was actually for Gobo because I saw it in action online and I thought, wow, that's a pretty cool light. It is pretty big, but it's okay, it's manageable for me. It has a locking feature right here for the tilt, so I just kind of loosen it up some and like that. So that's how that works, and I can tilt the light in different positions and then just lock it down. And here's a cool little button you can push and manipulate the handle as you need to, because sometimes it hits against the framing shutters here. So next I want to talk about the framing shutters. Basically what they do is shape the light. So initially when they're all open, the light will be just a round circle. Framing shutters allow you to frame it. So maybe you're spotlighting a picture or a specific area, maybe a stage, and you only want a certain amount of light to go through, because this light as it shines, it gets very big very fast. You do have adjustments here. You have focus and zoom knobs. They work together depending on their settings is what you get. So today I will be projecting this light fixture over there, a Gobo, right above the Sweethearts table over there, and I'll show you that later. On the front of the fixture, this allows you to put a framing gel in here. So it does come with a square that fits in here, and all you have to do is take this right here, just shift it over a little bit, put it up. There's a gel frame that slides right down in there if you want to project a color of some sort, and then you just lock that in place to hold the framing gel in. Right on top of the fixture, we do have zoom and focus knobs. They just simply unlock, turn, lock back again like that, depending on how close you are or where you are trying to focus and project your image or your light. Here's the framing shutter, so those are cool. Right now they're all full open, like pulled all the way out. So once I do turn this light on, it will generally just be a big circle of light. Now this light, the circle does get very big very fast, so it doesn't take a far distance for this light to get a real big circle. I'll show you that here later on. So here's the Chauvet EVE E-100Z currently mounted to a speaker pole stand. You could also maybe put some O-clamps on the bracket and hang it if you wanted to do that from some trussing. You can remove this bracket that I put on myself, and there's 3 holes here. So if you wanted to put on some O-clamps, you can mount this light hanging from a truss. I mentioned earlier that this light was purchased by me for multiple functions. So far I talked about it basically being a stage light by framing here with the framing shutters all around, but also it can serve as a spotlight. So that was another reason for me pole mounting this, so I could simply pivot it and turn it as I need to follow a subject. But also it's used as a Gobo projector. So this comes with the light. It's for a metal Gobo, that's why it's thin like that. And there's another one that is meant for a glass Gobo. So when you have something a little bit thicker, I'm not sure if you can see that, but this one is for the glass Gobos because they are thicker. And if you put those inside of a metal Gobo holder, you will risk cracking the Gobo, and that will not be good for your client. Once you slide your Gobo in the metal here, if you have a metal Gobo, you have to orientate it correctly. Of course, sometimes I think they're upside down and then backwards when you slide it in, and it simply goes right in here to this slot in place. And then you have 2 thumb screws, one here, they're only hand tight. So one there and one here. You simply push this plate here up against it, and then you can hand tighten the thumb screws again to hold the Gobo in place. And that also allows not so much light to come out through the top of the fixture, so that's what it looks like. So right now I have the Chauvet EVE E-100Z turned on, and where it's projected to is approximately 150 to 175 feet away from me. And look at how big the circle gets right there. So as a follow spot, you would definitely have to adjust that, and that's what these knobs here are all about. So you can definitely shrink that down by simply moving those, as you see I did right there. And then with the second knob on the top, so what I did was I used this knob to shrink the circle down to its smallest size, and then I use this knob in the back here to make it a little bit sharp. And so they work together to get that. Now if you were following a subject, maybe you don't want the sharpness, maybe you do. It really depends on the production needs, so you have to speak with the people involved who cares about that. If not, make the best decision you think and just follow the subject around. As you see there, if we wanted to spotlight that table or that area, clearly you can see that, you know, that just looks weird. You have light on the floor, you got this big circle around it, but yet the area looks square. This is where the framing shutters come in. So if a client did request for me to light this area, whatever it would be, you know, cake or frame or that area, then I would just do that with the framing shutter, as you see here. So the bottom adjusts for the top shutter adjusts the bottom. So everything is opposite. And you see I'm over here on the right side frame, but yet it's affecting the left side shape, right? And now I'm adjusting the left side shutter, and it's going to affect the right side. So that's just a general idea. You can see where this light is really handy for stuff like that. So again, if I wanted to use this light, it doesn't matter that I'm this far away. I can now manipulate the shape of the light and highlight just that area if I wanted to. But here's a metal Gobo, and you don't put it in, you know, straight in. Gobos are different because of, you know, how they project through the opticals inside the light. So I think I have to put this upside down and maybe like this to get it to shine correctly over there. Right now I put the Gobo fixture in, the metal Gobo, and I'm literally pinching the top of it to keep it in place. And I put the Gobo in upside down facing me as I read it, so to get you some contrast and you can see that a little bit better, hopefully. There it is. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to test fit the orientation in the Gobo. Currently the Gobo is unfocused, but it is reading correctly, so I'm going to get it in focus, turn it as I need to make sure that is straight and projected above the Sweetheart's table over there. So what I wanted to show you here was the Gobo is in slot. The bottom is actually pinching to hold it in place right now, but that's why it's important for you to slide this thing forward to help, you know, secure it even more in the top. So I'm just going to tighten down this thumb screw while I'm doing that, and then now I can tighten down the thumb screw on the other side. So that keeps the Gobo slot closed. And again, I'm going to verify if it's, you know, it looks like I have to turn it. So you got to play with it a little bit as you go, but once you get it right, you can then focus it. So I guess I can do that right now. Get it in focus there. So there it is. So at this point, the Gobo will move back just a little bit, but I'll refocus it and turn it to make sure it is straight. So here we have the fixture set up on the speaker stand. The speaker stand is raised to its highest setting, so anyone walking by will not cause any shadowing, and that's why I decided to make this cool pole mount. it's easy recovery. I personally don't like to put up trussing. I like things to look kind of simple and practical for use. So I still get the Gobo projected. It's up nice and high. I will also lower it some to get it centered between the ceiling and the backdrop there. But it's up, it's focused, and it's straight. I just need to center it a little bit more. Okay, so there we have it. This fixture is pole mounted now. Got all the cables tied to the back of the pole, nice, neat, and tight. Really slick look there. So here's the light live and actually going in real time. All the cables are nice and tight against the pole right there. I'm just kind of panned around and show you the rest of the room. And the Gobo projector is right there.
We are G-Fire Productions. DJ, sound, lighting, where you can count on fun and professionalism. Check out gfireproductions.com.